Welcome back, children. I've shared my screen. Visible to all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Very nice. Okay. I hope you've completed working the answer to this question. All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let the three numbers be a minus d, a and a plus d. The sum of the three numbers is minus 3. I told you, this is how we assume three numbers in AP, a minus d, a and a plus d. The sum of the three numbers is minus 3. So a minus d plus a plus d is minus 3. So on working this, 3a is equal to minus 3, a is equal to minus 1. So we've got the value for a. A is minus 1. So now next we'll have to work and find the value of d. What's the other information given? Product is 8. Product is 8. So a minus d into a plus d is 8. But we already know the value of a, no, minus 1. Here a minus d into a plus d is a square minus d square by the identity. A minus d into a plus d is a squared minus d squared by the identity. And this a here is equal to 8. And a is minus 1. So in place of a, use minus 1. And when you work this, we find that d is plus or minus 3. And as we know, d can take any value, negative, positive, fraction, any value. So you can accept both the values of d, plus 3, minus 3. But we have only one value for a. A is minus 1. So when a is minus 1 and d is plus 3, what are the values of a minus d and a plus d? Because we have to find the three numbers. Of the three numbers, one of the numbers is a. One of the numbers is a. So you'll have to find the other two numbers, a minus d and a plus d. So when a is minus 1 and d is plus 3, a minus d and a plus d, the other two numbers, because one of the numbers is a minus 1, the other two numbers, a minus d and a plus d. So a minus d, a plus d, they are minus 4 and 2. So what are the numbers in this order? A minus d, a and a plus d. Minus 4, minus 1, minus 4, minus 1 and 2. Now when a is minus 1 and d is minus 3, when a is minus 1 and d is minus 3, again find the values of a minus d and a plus d, 2 and minus 4. And again, write the numbers in this order, a minus d, a plus d. So a minus d is 2, a is minus 1, and a plus d is minus 4. So you get the same three numbers, but in the reverse order. Same three numbers you get. Minus 4, minus 1 and 2, but in the reverse order. So these are the three numbers. Find the numbers. These are the three numbers. And you can see that their sum is minus 3. The sum of minus 4, minus 1 and 2 is minus 3. And their product is, when you multiply the numbers, the product is 8. Yeah. So here in this question, find 4 numbers in AP. So you must go with this assumption. Let the 4 numbers be a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, and a plus 3d. Let the numbers be a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, and a plus 3d. So the sum of these 4 numbers is 20. So when you add these 4, the value is equal to 20. So add and equal to 20. And the sum of whose squares is 120. The sum of whose squares, that is the square of this number plus the square of this number plus the square of this number plus the square of this number is equal to 120. So these are the two things given to us in the question. With the help of these two information, you will have to find the 4 numbers. So what is important is about the assumption. You need to assume the numbers like this: a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, a plus 3d. Sum of the numbers is 20. Sum is 20. Then the sum of the squares. The sum of the squares is 120. So you should find the values of a and d and hence find the four numbers. Yeah, please work. Done, children? Okay, so as we have understood, you can see the sum of the four numbers is 20. So minus 3d plus 3d cancels, plus d minus d cancels. So we have 4a. 4a is equal to 20. A is equal to 20 by 4, 5. And the sum of the squares is 120. Now we know this identity. X plus y the whole square plus x minus y the whole square is equal to 2 of x square plus y square. So here you have a plus d the whole square plus a minus d the whole square, like x plus y the whole square plus x minus y the whole square. So you can write this as 2 of a square plus d square. 2 of a square plus d square. Similarly, this one can be written as 2 of a square plus 3d the whole square. A square plus 3d the whole square. See, even if you don't use this identity, you can get this answer by just expanding. A plus d the whole square is what? A square plus 2ad plus d square. A minus d the whole square, a square minus 2ad plus d square. So simply expanding also you can work. You can get this result. But it's nice to use identity. Nice to use identity in the sense you will save on the number of steps you need to finish the answer. So, and also like the newer things, you should keep using so that you become very familiar and you don't forget them. So uses identity. And this is 2 into a square plus d square plus 2 into a square plus 9d square. See, this is 3d the whole square. So 9d square is equal to 120. And open the bracket. 2a square plus 2a square is 4a square. 2d square plus 18d square is 20d square is equal to 120. Divide by 4 throughout. Divide by 4 throughout. And you have this. So after simplifying, now you'll be like, why you wouldn't use a value of 5 here itself? You can put a is 5, right? So you can put a5 here itself. Yeah, you can do that also. You can put a5 here also. A is fine, no? Yeah, you can use it there. I have just worked simplified like, and at this point, I'm using the value of a. You can also use the value of a here itself. So you have 5 plus d the whole square plus 5 minus d the whole square. Sorry. So after simplifying, to this extent, I've used the value of a is 5, so 5 square. So when you work this, you get the values for d. D is plus or minus 1. So now you know a is 5, but d is plus 1 or minus 1. So when a is 5 and d is plus 1, when a is 5 and d is minus 1. Find the numbers a minus 3d, a minus d, a plus d, and a plus 3d. Here also, find the four numbers. So you'll get the same numbers forwards and backwards, like 2468, 8642. The numbers are the same, 2468 or 8642. Finish working, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So in this, in the chapter ratio and proportion, you would have come across these phrases: product of extremes, product of means. Supposing you have the proportion A is to B is as to C is to D. A is to B is as to C is to D. So in a proportion, the product of extremes, A into D, is equal to the product of means, B into C. In a proportion, A is to B is a ratio, C is to D is another ratio. When two ratios are equal, They're said to be in proportion. So we write it like this. A is to B is as to C is to D. Or A is to B is equal to C is to D. Both are the same. So in a proportion, this is a proportion. In a proportion, the product of extremes is equal to the product of means. Now in this question, divide 32 into 4 parts. So let the 4 parts be A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, A plus 3D. Now divide 32 into 4 parts. So 32 is broken into 4 parts, right? So the sum of the 4 parts will be 32. The sum of the 4 parts will be 32. Total 32. You are dividing that into 4 parts so that the parts are in AP. So that means when you add the parts, you will get 32. So let the 4 parts be A minus 3D, A minus D, A plus D, and A plus 3D. The sum of these 4 parts is equal to 32. That's one equation. So you will solve this and find the value of A minus 3D plus 3D plus D minus D. 4A is equal to 32. A is equal to 8. Then the other information is product of extremes. These are the extremes. Product of means. These are the means. Product of extremes to the product of means is 7:15. Is 7:15. So product of extremes, this into this. A minus 3D into A plus 3D. By the product of means, A minus D into A plus D. This ratio is 7/15. Product of extremes to the product of means. 2 means division. Product of extremes in the numerator, product of means in the denominator. 2 means division. Is 7/15. 7:15 or 7/15. So when you work this, you'll be able to find 2 values for D, similar to the earlier one. So we got the value of A here. And when you work this, you will find the values for D. So when A is 8 and D is plus 2, when A is 8 and D is minus 2, you'll have to find the 4 numbers. You'll have to find the 4 numbers. You'll have the same 4 numbers. So forwards, they are 2, 6, 10, and 14. Backwards, 14, 10, 6, and 2. So the numbers are the same. Just that here it's in the reverse order. So these are the 4 numbers. So you can check, add these 4 numbers. 24 plus 6, 30 is 32. The sum is 32. The sum is 32. The sum of the 4 numbers is 32. And the product of extremes, 2 into 14. By the product of means, 6 into 10. So 2 ones are, 2 fives are, 2 threes are, 2 sevens are. So 7/15. Yeah. Product of means is product of means by the product of product of extremes divided by product of means. 2 into 14 divided by 6 into 10 is 7/15. Yeah, please work this. Yeah, completed, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Like in the previous answer, here also, if you want, you can use the value of A here itself. A is 8, no? So you can put 8, meaning after the step. So, like after the step, you can use A as 8, 8, 8, 8. That's fine. I have simplified it to this point, like A square minus 16B square is equal to 0. So here I've used the value for A8. So 8 square minus 16D square is 0. So on working this, we get the two values for D, plus or minus 2. So when A is 8 and D is plus 2, when A is 8 and D is minus 2, the four numbers we'll have to generate. Okay, next one. Find the sum of all non-multiples of 13 less than 390. Non-multiples of 13 less than 390. So to find the sum of all the non-multiples of 13, you will have to first find the sum of all the numbers, all the natural numbers less than 390. So first you need to find this. You need to find 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, so on till less than 390, no? So till 389. Find the sum of all the natural numbers less than 390, so till 389. Then find the sum of all the multiples of 13 less than 390. So it will be 13, 26, 39, so on till 390 itself is divisible by 13, but it's less than 390, right? So you cannot use 390, so minus 13. So it will be 377. Sorry, yeah, 377. 377. So first find this one, which is the sum of all the numbers, all the natural numbers less than 390. Then find this sum, which is the sum of all the multiples of 13 less than 390. The difference, this answer minus this answer minus this answer will give us the sum of all the non-multiples of 13. Because sum of all the numbers minus the sum of the multiples will give you the sum of the non-multiples. Yeah, please work. So AP of all natural numbers less than 390. 1, 2, 3, 4 till 389. So A is 1, D is also 1, N is 389. N is 389. That you don't have to find now because you know 1, 2, 3, 4 till 89. So 1, 2, 3, 4 till 389. So N will be 389. So find the sum. How do you find the sum? Sn is equal to n by 2 of the first term plus the last term. Sn means S389 is equal to 389 by 2 into the first term 1 plus the last term 389. So when you work this, you get 75,855. Then AP of all numbers less than 390 that are divisible by 13. Find the sum. But here to find the sum, you need to find the value of n. N can be found using L minus A by D plus 1 or the procedure you see here, which is already familiar to you. So find the value of n. N is 29. So we need to find S29, which is 29 by 2 into the first term plus the last term. which is this 5,655. Now the sum of all the non-multiples of 13 less than 390 will be this answer minus this answer, 70,200. Yeah, please watch, children. Completed, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So to find the sum of all the non-multiples, you need to find the sum of all the numbers less than 390. So from 1 to 389, find the sum of all the numbers. And remember, when you have to find the sum of a set of numbers, you need to know the value of n. When you have to find the sum of a set of numbers, you need to know the value of n. So here the value of n is 389 itself. 389. So you'll have to find S389. And then find the sum of all the multiples of 13 less than 390. So this is the AP of the multiples of 13 less than 390. This is the AP of multiples of 13 less than 390. Where A is 13, D is 26 minus 13, which is 13. And to find the sum of these numbers, to find the sum of the numbers from 13 to 377, you need to know the value of n. So n you can find using L minus A by D plus 1, or working it like this. An is equal to 377. So work and find the value of n, 29. So there are 29 terms. In this sequence or in this progression, there are 29 terms. 29. So find S29. 29 by 2 of the first term plus the last term. The difference between this and this will give you the sum of all the non-multiples of 13 less than 390. Yeah. So the next question, the sum of n terms of two APs are in the ratio 5n plus 4 is to 9n plus 6. Okay, the sum of n terms of two APs, so two different APs. But for both, we're finding the sum to n terms. Like for the first AP, if you're finding the sum to 50 terms, second AP also you're finding the sum to 50 terms. So n is 50 for both the APs. But since they're two different APs, they'll have different first terms and different common differences. The sum to n terms of two APs. So if you're finding the sum of the first 25 terms of one AP, you're also finding the sum of the first 25 terms of the second AP. So n is 25. In our example, n is 25 in both. But since the question says two APs, they're two different APs, which means they have different first terms and different common differences. So sum to n terms. So say that this is small letter s, okay? Sn by, no, how do I write small letter s? Okay, Sn like this by Sn. Sn only. N is n. N is not small letter n and capital letter n because n terms in both the APs. So let this one represent the sum to n terms of the first AP and let this symbol represent the sum to n terms of the second AP. I'm like saying this is the small letter s and capital letter S here. Now Sn is what? N by 2. N by 2 of 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Here also n by 2 of 2a, 2 capital letter A plus n minus 1, n is n in both the APs, into d. So how have we differentiated the two APs? Using small letter A, small letter d for the first AP and capital letter A and capital letter D for the second AP. N is n in both. Okay. Let me write it like this. Sn by Sn is given to be 5n plus 4 divided by 9n plus 6. So Sn, the numerator Sn is n by 2 of 2a plus n minus 1 into d for the numerator. Denominator Sn, capital letter A and capital letter D. So 2a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 5n plus 4 by 9n plus 6. Now we'll have to find the ratio of their 18th terms. Okay, 18th terms. So we have to find A18 by A18 like this. The ratio of their 18th terms, which is A plus 17D by A plus 17D. You can cancel n by 2 and n by 2 here. So this is a rough work, okay? We're just trying to understand what to do or how to proceed. So this is what we have to find. We need to find A plus 17D by A plus 17D. But what do we have here? 2A. But we need to find A plus 17D. But you have 2A here. Okay, what we'll do, we'll multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. Okay, so 2 into A plus 17D by 2 into A plus 17D. This is a rough work, children. Yeah, you can multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, no? Because anyways, it's like you're not doing any change, right? So you multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So then what do you get? A18 by A18 is equal to 2A plus 34D by 2A plus 34D. Now, when you compare what you have here and what you actually need to have, okay, when you compare the two, we see that 2A plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 2A plus 34d. This is what you actually have, but this is what you're supposed to have in the numerator. The denominator also, this is what you have, but this is what you're supposed to have. Supposed to have to get the answer. So it's enough if you compare the numerators or the denominators. You don't have to do both because both are the same almost. So compare the numerators or compare the denominator. So I'm comparing the numerator. So 2a and 2a like gets cancelled, right? And d also gets cancelled. You're comparing. Cancelling meaning you just looking at both the sides, and what happens now? N minus 1 is equal to 34. N minus 1 is equal to 34. See, when you just observe the two sides, when you observe the two sides, 2a, 2a, d term, d term, d, the coefficient of d is 34. Here the coefficient of d is n minus 1. So this n minus 1 should be equal to 34. So n is equal to 35. N is equal to 35. So when you use n35, this is the rough work. Now leave the rough work. We got the value for n. Now let n be 35. N is equal to 35. So use 35 in place of n everywhere. So we have this n by 2 gets cancelled. So we have 2a plus n minus 1, 35 minus 1. So 34d by 2a plus n minus 1, 35 minus 1, 34d is equal to, here also you'll have to use a value for n. N is 35, 5 into 35. 5 into 35 plus 4 and 9 into 35 plus 4. Okay. So we have 179 by 321. 321. Now take out 2 common. Take out 2 common. So you have a plus 17d by 2 common. Oh, sorry. When you take out 2 common in the numerator, a plus 17d by 2 common in the denominator, a plus 17d is equal to 179 by 321. So 2 in the numerator and denominator gets cancelled. Or we have a plus 17d by a plus 17d is equal to 179 by 321. So this a plus 17d is nothing but a18, because there's nothing but a plus 18 minus 1 into d by a plus 18 minus 1 into d. A plus n minus 1 into d. A plus 18 minus 1 into d is the 18th term, is equal to 179 by 321. So the numerator is nothing but a18, the denominator is a18. So the ratio of their 18th terms is 179 by 321. We'll just see it again. Or we need to find the ratio of their 18th terms, like a18 by a18, a18 by a18, which is a plus 18 minus 1 into d, a plus n minus 1 into d. So we need to find a plus 17d by a plus 17d. Multiply the numerator and denominator by 2. So we have 2a plus 34d by 2a plus 34d. So out here, the ratio of the sum to n terms is given 5n plus 4 by 9n plus 6. So Sn is nothing but n by 2 of 2a plus n minus 1 into d. Denominator Sn, n by 2, because they're two different APs, small a and small d for the first AP, capital A, capital D for the second AP. So 2a plus n minus 1 into d is equal to 5n plus 4 by 9n plus 6. Cancels. So we have the same thing. Whatever remains is what you see here. Now, how did we get n35? On comparing. What did we compare? We compared the numerator here and the numerator here. 2a plus n minus 1 into d and 2a plus 34d. So when you compare the d terms, the d term here and the d term here, n minus 1 is equal to 34. N minus 1 is equal to 34. So n is equal to 35. Because here 2a, 2a. N minus 1 into d, 34d. So n minus 1 is equal to 34, n is 35. So let n be 35. So wherever there is n, use 35. Wherever there is n, use 35. And the numerator and denominator, take out 2 common. And a plus 17d is nothing but a18 in both the numerator and denominator. And the ratio is 179 by 321. Yeah, please work, children. With this, we'll wind up the session for today. Please work this and ask me if you have any questions. Please ask me. Finish writing, children. Okay. Any doubts, children? All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. Good night. You may all leave the call.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good, children.
Thank you.